All right. Hello and welcome to the Football is King podcast. This is
We back, boys.
episode 4 following week 2 of the NFL season. It is Tuesday, September 20th at the time of this recording. And we had a great week of football. We are 4 stooges here to just share our thoughts about what we thought of this college football and NFL weekend. And we've got quite a few of them for you. So we'll go around the horn here real quick and say hello to everybody. In the top left corner on my screen, which is the most important screen because it's the one recording, would be Blake Stichkowski. How are we doing, sir?
What up, y'all?
Flying in all the way from who knows where he's at now, Mr. Shane Stichkowski, the twin in the bottom left-hand corner. And then living with the vibes. Living with vibes. Classic
Vibes,
Jonathan.
baby.
There we go.
Big fans of vibes.
We are fans of vibes here.
Mountains are blue and jerky is nice and jerky like.
Yeah, we are a big podcast supporter of the Colorado Kool-Aid. So Coors Light, if you would ever like to throw some money our way, we will gladly, shamelessly plug you on this podcast.
I will always have a Colorado Kool-Aid in my hands.
Yeah.
You ain't
all right.
that one.
We're going to start the podcast off with our returning segment for the first time. Returning segment. Our untrue fact of the week has to be that for the first time in NFL history, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Lions all won a game on Sunday. It was incredible.
And how unlikely that the Jets actually won a game.
The Jets won an incredible game. We'll talk about it more later. Jets won a great game. The Lions look kind of scary good. I mean, is it Hard Knocks? Is it just Dan Campbell being a good old ag and going to bite people's knees off? Who knows? And then the Giants and the Jaguars, they also looked all right. They look good.
Deceptively
Jaguars,
bad.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars got to get their one win early, and that way they can go 1-15. So they got it. So there we go. All right, moving on. We wanted to update our other recurring segment on our picks from last week. Really, really, really bad week for the office here, except for our man Blake, who had a positive record, was half a point away from covering.
Let's
go. But as a podcast, we went 3-9 on the gambling streets this week, which is why we always say gamble responsibly. All right, that's how.
And don't follow our picks. Fade us. Fade us.
Yeah, fade us.
Fade me for sure.
Can I get the right thing going? Here we go. Maybe.
It's a free country. If you don't want to gamble responsibly, do whatever you want.
That's true. All right, there we go. So here were our picks from last week. Blake went 2-1 with the Bucks covering, and Syracuse winning outright as a dog was great for him. And
come on,
Baker Mayfield screwed me and Blake, and the fact that I figured he could outplay Daniel Jones, and that was an incorrect assumption. He
never put money on Baker.
Baker's a problem.
He's dead to me.
I'm still in the lead because I have a push.
That is true. We did have a conflict of interest between Jonathan and I with the Texas A&M game. Jonathan came out victorious, which I am happy to concede defeat there to watch the Ags win and cover. And then Shane got murdered. Shane, the Colts pick is looking real ugly now after they lost by 24 as 4-point favorites.
Shane may have 2 head coaches that may get fired on his card.
It is.
That's
possible.
The second week in a row the Colts have got me because I'm pretty sure I bet with them week 1 too.
It's possible, but don't worry. We're going to turn it around this week. We were talking about it pre-pod recording that I went 0-3 on my picks that I sent out to the people, and I had the best gambling week of my lifetime as I went plus 16 in all my other bets. So I feel it. I feel the turnaround coming for all of us. So yeah, this is the week that we all go 3-0 and make everyone so much money.
Yeah, all of our followers that are illegally gambling in the state of Texas.
No. This is an international podcast. We have fans from all over.
The free state of Texas where you can't gamble.
we were getting lots of traction this week on Twitter. Feel free to join us there. We'll do live tweet Sundays on Twitter at FIK Podcast. So we had some people retweeting us their picks and things like that. So that was good. So feel free to join along. And then we have no idea where they are. Go ahead, Shane.
No, yeah. If you want to illegally gamble, just go to mybookie.com. We will take a sponsorship from mybookie.com if they so happen to feel.
That's how Brandon Walker got a start. I'm pretty sure it was MyBookie.
Yeah, MyBookie. We are not illegally gambling. However, we will say that
we're gambling with them, so that's
but we will send our money to South Africa for them to turn around and give us Bitcoin.
Any sponsors that want to get at us, we will gladly shamelessly plug you all day long on this podcast.
And mybookie.com, great customer service. If your card doesn't go through the first time, they give you a call. A guy from South Africa calls you, has a real thick accent. You really don't understand them. You just give them the approval. Then you call the bank and they push it through and they get your money, and you can gamble all weekend. You can spend all your money on freaking mybookie.com. You're feeding some poor kid in Africa. How great is that? That's amazing.
That's true.
They will call you, and your bank will send you a text message saying that someone is trying to rob you.
Absolutely. They call me at least once a month when my card doesn't go through because all the security setups in America for banks. And they're like, "Hey, sir, I'm not even gonna try that accent."
We missed the big story. The fact that Jonathan has to multiple times input money into his
That's
account.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So I know he's currently in first place. I know he's currently in first place, but please do not listen to Jonathan's betting tips.
When you want to bet big, man, you want to bet big. I'm out here trying to hit one of those 10-game parlays that makes me like quit my job for 6 months.
Speaking of, did y'all see the dude that was one leg away from the $1 million?
Oh,
and he cashed out at like 250 or something like that.
Dude, that's my dream.
Worth it.
They cashed out at like 250.
I am all
Johnny's not going to be
aboard.
living in that new house for long.
I'll let it roll, baby.
Yeah, Jonathan and I will fight on this all day. I am all for taking the 250 over.
Oh, it was like a $10 bet. Like you have to take the 250.
Yeah, you take that 250.
$10 for 250 you never had in the first place, or you lose $10.
It's a guaranteed. You have guaranteed $250. Possibly losing $10. I'll take guaranteed $250.
You're right. You take the $250. You go ahead and pull that out. You drive the 30 minutes from my house to Choctaw Casino. Put it all on black and let it ride, baby.
You don't do that. You don't do that. Now, I am aboard of
cash. The sad part is he would have hit the $1 million.
That's fine. I'm all aboard.
A&M was his last leg.
I'm all aboard cashing it. Go ahead and cash it.
Oh, I am too.
And then do a little hedging. Or go put a big bet somewhere that makes you feel like, go pick an underdog that you feel really confident in. Go throw 50 of those $200,000 on it if you can.
Go put 50 grand on the Ags. Let's go, baby.
Well, if he would have hedged he could have hedged with Miami and actually come out like sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all aboard.
Probably would have won 750,000.
Yeah, I'm all for taking the cash out and then hedge a bet.
Yeah, he should have hedged. Right. No, you don't even cash out. You just find a bank that'll give you a loan, and then you hedge it, and then you pay him back. You're good to go.
There you go. All right.
Me and Johnny will never agree with you on this. If I'm that close, give me the.
You have to hedge. If you're talking $12,000, okay, I can see that. You're talking $250,000.
We all make bank. $250,000 is nothing. I mean, that's pennies.
You're hedging.
That's pocket change.
I work in construction. I make
MyBookie.com sponsored me for $500,000. What'd they give y'all?
Share the wealth, man. Share the wealth.
Coors Light has the views out here with the mountains blue, baby.
I'm still surprised YouTube hasn't shut us down for having labels in our videos, but that's fine. We're just gonna keep it going.
And we've passed all the checks. Do is put a song as an intro just to make sure.
All right, we talked about him a little bit. Let's get on to the college football slate from this past weekend. It was terrible. It was so bad. That's all. I mean, Georgia still good at football. Alabama still pretty good at football, but all that. So I mainly want to talk about them good old Texas Aggies. So we can get right onto that. We had new QB. We won a
Big
football
Max
game.
Johnson.
We
The one encouraging thing is that we didn't have a 3-and-out every possession.
Yes.
We did not have a 3-and-out every possession. We did score some
Big
points.
Dick Max. Big Dick Johnson. He got the
We're calling him Maximus
like,
Johnson.
That's the
Maximus.
thing, man. With his name, this man needs to come out and like swing it around a little bit. You know, like
Dude.
show him what's up.
They
he
kept
needs
showing.
an NIL deal with Trojan.
They kept
Oh,
showing
dude,
Brad. They
perfect.
kept showing Brad in the stands, just looking upset that we are so bad at football. It was hilarious. They just kept being, you're like, well, here's his father, NFL quarterback, who is just, disappointed that we suck.
No,
So that was not great.
I just disagree. I don't think we suck. I really think the offense is weak, but man, like
The good news is our defense is going to keep us in every game.
The defense is
our
great.
defense literally is keeping us alive.
They're going to keep us in every game.
We lost 4 defensive backs. Like,
Yeah.
quick.
And we were out of linebacker.
College football is soft.
We were out.
Okay,
all sorts of shit.
Answer a question
that rule
for me.
needs to change. That rule.
I don't
has to
understand
fucking
the
change.
first targeting when it was on the running back. How does that happen?
That's the thing. They never look at like, hey, did you notice that the offensive player's crown of their helmet is also
Yeah.
down? And it's just like,
They don't care about
Did
that.
Kirk and Fowler say anything about it, or were they on board with it?
They're probably on board with it.
I unfortunately was on mute because UT played at the same time, so we were watching the UT game with the sound on. So
I unfortunately was plastered at a charity event. So I was
A&M
watching
might.
on-
FIK
A&M
podcast supports charity. Look at us,
Yeah.
we're the best. Way to go!
Hey man, I gave the kids a lot of money.
A&M might be have the most calls of targeting against them in the past 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
'Cause
The
we hit
worst-
hard, man.
The worst part about it to me is that the refs didn't even catch it on the field. And so it's like, it's obviously ticky-tack targeting. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh, by the letter of the rule, this is targeting. Even on the second one,
the second one took
he-
like 2 minutes before they even went to review it too. It took
and then
forever.
he brushed his face mask.
Yeah,
He
it
did
was-
lower his head. I agree, he lowered his head, but he brushed his face mask. He wasn't trying to kill the dude.
Well, and yeah, he did lower his head, but literally he put his head on the ball, which is why the ball
Yeah.
came out. Like,
I'm
And
not
that's what you're
literally
supposed
what
to
he's
do.
taught. Jonathan, you are sideways. This is good stuff right here. I love it. There we go.
The coaches are teaching them to put their helmet on the ball and get the ball.
It's
they're
just, it's
teaching
all
that.
about keeping
You
your
gotta
face
keep your
mask
face
up.
mask
Got to
up.
keep the face mask up.
And I'm
And-
okay. I'm actually okay with the targeting rule, but ejecting the
No.
player is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I think
No,
it's a 2.
the
I think you give him
rule's
2 strikes.
stupid. It needs to go away.
I think
Or
you
use
give him 2
common sense.
strikes.
Give me some common sense, like the NBA. Like there's a flagrant 1 and flagrant 2. There could be a targeting 1 and targeting 2.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
fine. And like
Neither of those were like
Literally.
egregious.
No, the rule's stupid, yo.
But
It
even-
should either be like Austin said, a two targeting, you get 2 tries, or there's 2 categories, because the one targeting and you're out. Ticky-tack targeting could change a whole. Say it's the national championship and you lose your best defensive player.
That happened to
that could
Clemson.
screw you.
That happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
happened to
happened
Clemson.
2 years ago, 3
Brees.
years ago.
Brees did it.
Yeah. I don't watch the NBA. If you get 2 flagrant ones, are you ejected?
Yes.
So that's,
But if you get-
that's a good model right
The
there.
same
Like,
rule,
you
yeah.
get
But if the
flagrant one-
first one is egregious,
But if the first one's a
if the
flagrant
first one's
2, yeah.
egregious, throw them out.
Because there's some moments, Mike
Yes.
Evans against
But-
the New Orleans Saints, where you should get ejected
Yes.
for those kind of things.
Yes.
But like, it used to be. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be crossing it over from the NFL and whatnot. It used to be intent was the way they classified.
I do hate when they
No.
referee based off of intent, because it's like
In-
that's a
In the
it's a big
NBA
thing
or
in
college?
soccer.
No, in the NFL or college, one of those.
That's
It
bad.
used to be targeting had to be. It
No.
was a personal foul unless it was intentional.
No, it wasn't. It's always been the helmet to helmet was you're
Yeah,
out.
it's just been
Like see, I'd rather have
difference
the fucking
was-
intentional
the
thing. I'd
difference
rather
was
it be
back in
like
the day-
somewhat-
Back in the day, they couldn't review it when they first initiated it, and then they
Yeah.
went to, we can review it, but we can't overturn the penalty. We can only overturn the ejection. Now we can overturn both, but still, they're going by the letter of the rule, and it's baloney.
I mean, in my opinion, the rule's stupid in the first place. Like, you're going to get hit in the fucking head. You're
I'm
playing
okay
a
with
full
it.
contact sport.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't fucking play it. Go play volleyball. Go.
I'm okay.
Run
I think
around,
they need
prance around on a field.
They need
somewhere.
to change if the penalty is called targeting. There are some hits that are targeting, like
it's intent.
Targeting is like egregious. It's like Troy Polamalu on the punt where the guy hasn't even touched the ball yet, and he just obliterates him. That's fine.
But seriously, I still watch that video at least.
Oh, it's it's fantastic. But like, I will bring up from a different scenario, same week, different game. In the University of Texas game against UTSA, Overshone sacks the quarterback. He doesn't even lower his helmet. He goes face mask to face mask, gets
Still
ejected. He's suspended for the first half of this game, barring appeal. But he doesn't lower his helmet or anything. Now, it should be roughing the passer because he does hit the quarterback in the head with violent conduct. So I'm fine with the roughing the passer because that is the definition of roughing the. But like, he gets ejected from that game and suspended for the first half of their game against
it's a game changer,
whoever they play, and that's their best player on defense. And it's just like he made a good tackle. He just hit him a little too high.
That was a ticky-tack call. And I honestly thought the Auburn game, that dude that laid out the Penn State pool, I thought they were going to call targeting on that. I was like, they're going to call targeting.
It's just
my problem is the alternative is they're going to start going at each other's knees. And I think Larry Fitzgerald was the first guy to say back in the day, like, I will pay your fine if you hit me in the legs. Do not hit me up top. Or no, hit me up top.
Hit me up top.
In the legs. Yeah. And later on in the Miami A&M game, one of our corners went at the dude's legs, and the dude ended up hurt.
Yeah.
You're going to
end Sarah and I, knee is way more dangerous than getting hit in the freaking head.
And the way that they're asking defenders, which we already know, they're going to make everything offensive oriented. That way the game's more excited. But like they're asking defenders to put themselves, their body at risk. Like there's a better chance of them getting hurt because they're not tackling properly, or they're asking them to tackle players in their center of gravity where it's going to be the most force on their shoulder,
right in their dead chest.
No matter what, they're going to be taught, hey, your job is to put your head across the offensive player's body. So it's shoulder and neck area is just going to get obliterated, even if it's a form tackle, because you're hitting Travis Kelce across the waist.
Tackle, you're teaching these, go all the way to Pee Wee football. You're teaching these kids to form tackle that way, but we're not accounting the offense player ducking his head down and then hitting helmet to helmet, and now the defense player gets screwed off of it. That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
That's the part that needs to change. Anytime there's a helmet to helmet, which, hey, here we go. Hello, podcast. We have not talked about the fact that I love soccer. In soccer.
No, yeah, we did. We made fun of you wanting kickers to be more involved.
Hey, kickers win games. The Browns wouldn't have lost that game if the kicker didn't miss an extra point.
They lose games too.
More like kickers lose games. But in soccer, you're not penalized if you like kick a guy in the face. If he puts his face down low, it should be the same way in football. If you're a running back and you put your head down there, you're free game.
You're fair game.
Yeah.
Where are you, like, you're asking the guy to, like, hey, I can only get you in the ankles because your head is that low. Like, how much lower do you ask the defender to go? It's so dumb.
Hey,
I will say, I'm sorry.
No, Austin should be a case study on this because his head shape is ahead of its time. I just thought of that. You could never get called for targeting because your face mask when we played Pee Wee was up here.
If he lowered his head, his face
mask is up there. If your face mask is riding too high, when you lower your head, it's face mask. It's good.
Yeah.
Back to A&M, the one thing I will say is about 3 of their drives, I think 2 of which they scored on, were as a result of penalties. The first pass interference was absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Our dude didn't even touch the guy. Yeah. And then 2 others, it was 3rd down. And one targeting was on 3rd down to get off the field. And then I think there was another one where it was a 15-yard penalty, like a personal foul or something, baloney.
Yeah. I think
Johnny's Pandas
specifically, the NFL showed, and college as well, but we have a refereeing crisis in football.
Easily.
And the biggest thing for me, and I'm asking this just in all the sports, I think, number one, to hold people accountable, referees should have to give post-game interviews to the media.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Give them, make them stand. Like, can you imagine? I don't remember what year it was, but go back a few years. The Rams Saints game in the playoffs
Yes.
where the
Yes.
dude just gets obliterated on the worst pass interference call or non-call of all time. Can you imagine if the media got to grill the referees after that? Number two, refs should be fined for terrible
Agreed.
calls.
I was just about to
should
say the same thing.
Because the referee organizations coming out and apologizing for mistakes, sweet, fine the
Baloney.
referees. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Brad Allen and I cannot stand Brad Allen's crew in the NFL. They average like 17 penalties a game, and they are terrible, and I hate them. They need to be fined for some of their atrocious
I'm a
calls.
fan of like the reffing pay structure should be like, okay, you had a great
Yeah.
game. And I'm not saying overanalyze every ticky-tack holding and all that
No.
baloney. But if you make an egregiously bad call, all right, suddenly your game pay is going to be 80% of what it should have been. And you're going to end up owing. Those dudes make so much money, and it's their second job.
Yeah.
If they care so
Well,
much
that's
about
part of the
reffing,
problem.
that needs to be your primary job.
I know they can't do
That's
it
part of
because
the
they
problem.
already
No,
don't
there
have.
are some that are full-time refs.
Most of them
Yeah.
are like lawyers. And
Most of them are
crap.
lawyers and things like that. But their problem is that they already have a lack of numbers when it comes to officials. So that they can't do those things because then they're afraid they're going to lose their numbers. But
well,
I
after
mean,
watching,
we gotta have some
watching-
better referees out there because we got some terrible
Terrible.
calls
God
all the
awful
time.
call.
After watching it this weekend, I decided that I'm signing up to be an Atlanta area high school referee, and I am moving up to the NFL. Give me 3 years.
I have
Let's
already
go.
I have
Yes,
also looked
sir.
into it. It takes a lot to get to NFL referees, but
That's okay.
Every time
I
you
wanna
call
get there.
targeting Blake, I'm coming after you on social media. I'm
That's
dump trucking you on Twitter.
that's
is
my
it-
whole
it-
point. I'm not calling it.
This is
No.
a legit question. Is this a training issue or is it just stupidity? Because anyone
No,
at
they
home
get
can
told. They get told what to focus on.
and the NFL always puts an emphasis for
No, I know
penalties
that,
this year. This year it's illegal contact. So
And
you
then
see
there's
all these
certain
random illegal
players that-
contact penalties.
But there should never be, and I know they do that, but I'm like, there should never be a point of emphasis. It should be call the game how the game needs to be called. That's
Correct.
it. That's your
Facts.
job.
Yeah.
Facts.
Here's the rule book. The only point of emphasis should be, hey, we have changed a rule this year. Like
Yeah.
emphasize,
My-
like, hey, this is new.
My-
Focus on it. But like
My issue is
the
just
Raiders
rule
got
itself.
screwed this weekend. The Raiders got
Who?
screwed this weekend. Your team got screwed. They got called on a phantom holding call in the end zone when Kyler Murray was out of the pocket. Holding is now out. If the
Yeah.
quarterback is not in the pocket, holding should not exist, according to
I
the
didn't know
NFL
that.
rulebook.
And
And
they
I
called
learned
it
that
on
this
the guy
weekend.
that wasn't
And
on
the
the
NFL
I
field.
didn't know that until this weekend either.
And the NFL those refs are not going to be fined, and they literally determined the outcome of a game.
So if a
That's where
guy
it gets
goes,
annoying.
If I
is-
remember correctly, they didn't even call it on the right number. They called it on
Now,
a guy
okay.
that was on the sideline.
That's
I
fine.
can see that.
Getting the number wrong,
whatever.
getting the number correct has got to be so difficult. Those guys
But
run
all of
so
it put
fast.
together just means that they legitimately
Yeah.
didn't know what they were calling.
No, Buffalo.
So
and
if a
Wild
guy-
Wings called them up and said, "Hey, we need this to go to overtime," and that's what happened.
Yeah.
If a guy goes on a bootleg outside the pocket, are they then able to grab onto a receiver as long as the
Yep.
ball's not in the air?
Yep.
I
Now
had no clue.
they have to be careful of like illegal contact, but specifically like once they leave the pocket, my understanding is like, hey, like you're allowed to get significantly more physical.
Well, I heard it 3 times this weekend, and I had never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
I've never heard that
Because
either until this
That's
weekend.
that's why every single time that they call a defensive holding, the referee should say beforehand, while the quarterback was still in the pocket, holding on the defense, number
Yes.
blah 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 blah.
The one that pisses me off is when you're sitting in a bar and someone's bitching that a cornerback comes up and checks a wide receiver within the first 5 yards. That's illegal. Like, nah, bro. Nah.
No, nothing
He-
makes
he-
me more upset than being in
He
the
can hand check.
stadium and listening to the whole crowd boo on a very obvious call. That one makes me so mad.
I
It's
did
just
that.
like-
I
I know-
did that this weekend.
It's
I was
like-
like,
it's-
fellas, That was obvious.
It is so clearly like offsides, and you're booing it. It's like he's
Yeah.
offsides. Like, get over it.
Clearly.
Good podcast transition here. You know what gets my blood boiling? When a fan gets an investigation brought on him for ticky tap supposed slap to the face
It was
of
not.
a
It
quarterback.
was not a slap. I saw the
He was
headline.
trying to
It
touch
looked
his
like a high
pad.
five
Yeah.
that missed and just
Yeah.
popped him.
My dude's gonna get arrested over that.
That is the most silly, and it shows how weak America is. I love you, America, but it shows how weak America is that we're going to.
It shows how weak professional athletes are to the regular fan.
Yeah.
Like this dude, it did not hurt Kyler.
No.
It did not do anything to Kyler.
Dude, but Kyler was ready to
just threw a
slap
little
that guy in
bitch
the
fit
face.
because he's a bitch.
He was.
He barely even like it wasn't even a love tap. It wasn't even a love tap.
Yeah.
He pushed his head. It was like old Juwan Howard on Greg Gard last year. He pushed him.
Yeah.
He smooshed him. He smooshed him.
Now Howard was closed fist and then
Yeah.
barely opened up his hand. I think
He
Howard
smooshed
did.
him.
I think Howard did want to do some damage, but then was like, "Wait, I shouldn't do that. All right, let me open my hand up." But I think
I know it was a Raiders fan, and Raiders fans stab people for fun, but I think he was seriously trying to touch his shoulder pads. I really do. Like I do.
Yeah.
Also, Kyler
He
ran
was
over
literally-
there.
I think he was literally
Yeah.
trying to celebrate, even though he's a Raiders
Yeah.
fan, because he was like, "That was incredible." Like, "Hey, good job."
Hey, dude. I mean, honestly, this is one of those moments. Have you ever had this where you see things happen in moments in time in history, and you go, "God, I'm thankful I wasn't there. I would have done some stupid shit like Kyler Murray. If I'm front row and we just lost that game the way we did." I'm at home mad. I'm at home cussing out at the TV. I'm at home throwing shit. If I'm in the stands and I'm front row and Kyler Murray comes over and he's high-fiving people, I'm going to be a little emotional too. I might yell out like, "Hey, midget, fuck you. Like, take your 5'6" ass back over on your sideline and get the fuck away from me." And
Well,
then if he
Kyler,
has
did you
something to
see
say,
Garrett
I
Wilson?
might reach out
Garrett
and smack
Wilson
him
did
a
it.
little bit.
Kyler might
Garrett
be
Yeltsin
only 4'8".
LSU had a kid. Yeah, he's
Kyler
4'8".
might only be 4'8", but Kyler would destroy you, Jonathan.
Nah,
He would
dude. I
destroy
met
you.
him in person. He walks around with bodyguards for a reason. That dude would get wrecked by 90%
All right, well,
in the
his
world.
offensive lineman or his version
That's a
his
bodyguard.
version of Mike
You said
Evans would come
Kyler
into the
would
stands
destroy me.
and
Kyler
destroy
would not
you.
destroy me. Kyler is
Uh,
not an intimidating human
Hey,
being.
no,
that
that's
dude is
fair.
tiny.
Also, Kyler won't throw punches because he can't ruin his hand. Like that's his
Yeah.
career. Like
That's his
like
gaming hand.
quarterback
That's his
Kyler
gaming
should,
hand.
punched me only once.
quarterbacks
I would
should not
love to
throw
have
punches.
a new house and a new car and a new
Can't-
truck. And
Hey, can't play Call of Duty with one hand.
Okay, but
Yeah,
like,
dude.
hey, I think the double XP weekend for Modern Warfare like helped Kyler just in the second half. I think
Apparently,
I think Activision called him up and said, "We will remove your membership if you don't step it up." And he just went, "Oh, Hey, while we're
dude,
there-
I'm tired of Kyler.
Is Zach Wilson a noted Mormon? Because if so, he is the coolest Mormon.
All right.
Wi-Fi sucks.
we have
God.
we have reached the part of the podcast where we lose Shane because of his Wi-Fi because he's in
And that
the
face
middle of
right there
nowhere.
that he's frozen
It's
on.
real
is
cute.
He's
There
back.
we go.
He's back.
He's back.
Continue what
All
you were
right.
saying about Zach Wilson.
I said, is he a noted Mormon? Because he's the most legit Mormon in the world.
Dude,
Probably.
Drop
I don't
Dropping
know
bombs?
if Mormons would have sex with their mom's best friend.
Drop-
Yeah,
but-
so when we
dropping
say
bombs,
most
banging
legit,
moms, baby.
he might be the most like accepted by pop culture, but he's definitely not the most legitimate Mormon. I feel like there's-
Paige will not let me buy the Barstool hoodie that says "dropping bombs, banging moms." She says it's inappropriate for a married man to wear.
hey, but
So,
once y'all have a kid, then you can buy it because then you will be banging a mom.
Facts,
Boom.
dude.
There
That
we
needs
go.
to happen. Once that happens, I'm getting that shirt. Dropping
All
bombs,
right.
banging moms.
We were talking about it a little bit. Let's go into more detail. Let's switch to the NFL because the NCAA was just terrible this week. I will say when we discussed this off the pod, last thing on the NCAA, We have a bettor's nightmare this weekend in college football. We have the 3-0 Duke Blue Devils playing the Kansas Jayhawks, who are also 3-0. And I have no idea what side to take. It's a nightmare. But
Duke,
I mean,
the
Kansas,
Fighting Mike Elkos.
Foreshadowing. I'm
Kansas
big on the Jayhawks.
Kansas is
Big on
favored by like a
Kansas.
touchdown, which is just crazy to me.
Over a touchdown.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we've already talked about the Raiders game a little bit.
When's the last time, Austin, with your research, when's the last time Kansas has been favored in a game?
They were probably favored against some
favored
FCS
this
I mean,
teams.
FCS teams and all those things. But if you think back, the last time that Kansas was possibly this good in football, do y'all remember? Like, I don't know, 8 years ago,
2007.
or maybe more than 8 years ago, where Kansas was
Mangino?
number 2 in the country and Missouri was number 3. Like,
I think it was 2007 or 2008.
that was a
Mike
really rough.
Mangino.
Really rough time in my family, because we are Chiefs fans, we are split right down the middle. Half of us are Jayhawks and half of us are Tigers, and it was a stressful time in our house. So yeah, that might have been the largest football coach of all time. He was a big man.
It's the first time they've been favored against a Power 5 opponent since 2009.
There you go. So University of Texas Longhorns, beware. Kansas.
They might be 0-2 versus Kansas in
And
2
you're
years.
playing them in Lawrence this year. All right, here we go. There's our Longhorn dig of the week. Longhorns actually look pretty decent, I will say. Got a little
They
lucky.
got to
against
make it past
really
Tech.
decent.
Tech might surprise them in Tech.
Oh, Texas is going to cover that game. Texas is going to win and cover that game. I almost took Texas this week, but
Go Tech.
all right, here we go. Let's continue talking about the
Wreck 'em.
Raiders game. We're in the NFL now. We've talked about the Raiders game a little bit. I mean, it was very exciting.
No,
Mc-
it wasn't.
Yeah, it was an exciting game.
20-0.
The Raiders didn't even make the mistake of not giving Josh Jacobs the ball. Just Josh
No,
Jacobs
we
got
made the
stopped.
mistake of only getting Devontae Adams' ball twice, though.
No. They tried to get it to him 7 times. He only caught it twice.
Yeah,
But-
we gotta be better.
Yeah.
20-0.
Gotta be better.
What's with the Raiders just stopped scoring in the fourth quarter and the second? I think that was the theme of the weekend. And this is something that you'll hear NFL GMs and people who actually know the NFL well. Like
us.
the theme of this weekend is it's not over until it's over. And if you stop scoring in the second half and the fourth quarter and playing conservatively, you will lose football games and it will be ugly.
I
The
never
Raiders,
understand that
the
they
Browns.
switch their complete game plan when they're winning. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, you had a good
it was
game plan,
crazy.
obviously.
Just
Just
keep
hold
going.
to it.
And I mean, the other team's going to make adjustments, so you also have to make some adjustments. But
of course. But don't
like-
switch your whole game plan and start playing conservatively.
I don't get how you go from scoring 20 points and then scoring 0.
0, yeah. You should go get in the end zone one more time.
That's not, or a field goal, or I guess it was 20-0 at half, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that, 27 maybe. The Raiders
forgot what
only
it ended up.
got a field goal in the second half. I know that for a fact. So it was 20. So they tied 23-23. And then the
Football teams do it though, where they literally go into conservative mode, and then everything goes out the window.
I know all about it. My Chiefs are great at it. The Bengals,
And 3
in the
possessions-
AFC Championship
3
game.
possessions is nothing.
3 possessions can be very quick in professional
Yes,
football.
very quick.
Like, I think 3 possessions in college football is a humongous deal. 3 possessions in professional football can be nothing. Like
One
very
mistake, a pick six, a fumble in your own territory. I mean, it's already
a fake
pretty much
field
covered.
goal when you're up 24-0, Houston Texans. Like, there you go.
What in
Like,
the world?
Bill O'Brien just curses your football team. And I think we talked about this a little bit beforehand as well. We were all very shocked to learn that, I mean, Hunter Renfrow is an amazing wide receiver, especially he does great things for the Raiders. Specifically last year, he is Carr's safety blanket on any time it's 3rd or 4th down or they need a big play. I personally would throw it to Darren Waller because he's a bigger mismatch for defenses. But for some reason, they always go to Hunter Renfrow.
And he's usually open.
I would also go to Devontae Adams more, but whatever.
That'd be a good idea.
Hunter Renfrow led the league.
And Darren Waller's on my fantasy, so.
I mean, yeah, if it's Shane's fantasy, you got to give him the ball. But Hunter Renfrow led the league for wide receivers in fumbles last year, which is just crazy to me. Because he's like, the classic sure-handed, bring your lunch pail to work, get in the gym every day, all the other white wide receiver
Coach's
jokes that you
son.
can make, coach's son. He fumbled twice in overtime. They recovered one, and then a loss. And I mean, that hit was brutal. I do feel bad.
I was gonna say, I feel like they weren't like, he wasn't like not taking care of the ball. The first one literally got, I think it was a punch out on
the first one was from behind.
Yeah, did he punch it? He got right on the ball and punched it.
I'm just saying, when you got he had someone that was going to hit him from the front and someone that then punched from behind.
Yeah,
dude, if you're in overtime and you're going to get hit, put two hands on the football.
The next one, he did have two hands on the football.
Yeah, the second one, I do not blame him for. He just got murdered. Simmons finally made a good play. Like, he's in his second or third year. He's been terrible for the Cardinals.
My only complaint on the second one is, how many extra yards are you truly going to get?
I agree with that.
Like you might make one guy
but in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking that.
They're coming.
No football player. I've yet to see a football player who just takes the yards that are given to him and doesn't fight for the extra yards. But that's not a quarterback.
In the heat of the moment, they're not doing that. They're trying to get everything they can get.
It's not a heads up play though. It's not smart.
What'd you order?
Panda, dude.
I know. What did you get?
Little teriyaki chicken and fried rice, baby.
I will say the Raiders are one of the very few 0-2 teams. They should not be an 0-2 team.
I was tempted to take this. Are they playing the Titans this next week?
Yeah.
I think they're 1.5 point favorites. I was tempted to take them this week. That's an overreaction.
Did that line not change drastically after the Titans just got obliterated?
I think it was 1.5 when I saw it.
Dude,
the Raiders are now 2.5 point favorites. Is what I'm seeing.
I don't know if we're gonna talk about this, but the freaking Bills are a wagon.
Yeah, they're a wagon.
I'm still on team. Don't trust the Bills. Now the Bills are going to make the AFC Championship game, but are they going to make the Super Bowl?
Of yourself.
But here's my thing: how many times have we seen a team go in and look dominant through the regular season and just lose it in the playoffs? Or
the Packers every season, like the Packers every single season.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen the team look dominant throughout the regular season and then go through and win it in the playoffs?
Not as much as
my only hesitation is this was the same conversation that we had with the Chiefs at first, because Tom Brady was there, and now we're gonna have it with the Bills until they win the big game, which I'm just saying. But dang, they are a wagon.
The AFC has so many good quarterbacks that the playoffs make me extremely nervous because anything can happen in any of the games.
I agree,
except for the Chargers.
Dang, the Bills look good.
The Chargers will find a way to lose a game. I respect the Chargers for that. We'll talk about the Chargers. Actually, you know what? That's a great transition. Let's talk about the Chiefs and the Chargers.
That's partly their identity.
The Chiefs were outplayed for the entirety of that game. Mahomes made some amazing throws. I will say Justin Herbert made some amazing throws. I love to listen to my guy Skip Bayless on Monday mornings because it's great. The very first touchdown the Chiefs scored, where Mahomes does the pump fake and then the Derek Jeter sidearm underneath a guy's arm after
that was an amazing throw.
After he scrambled and broke a tackle, and then I love Skip Bayless going on Undisputed Monday morning and saying that Tom Brady could make that play. I was like, Tom Brady can't even move. Tom Brady can't move. So there's one thing. And two, I've never seen Tom Brady throw a single pass under like sidearmed.
No,
that was an incredible throw.
But I mean, so it's like, it was a good play. I really like Watson, the wide receiver who beat JC Jackson on the deep ball. He's had a really great preseason and season so far that he is a legitimate deep threat. He is your classic Scotty Miller white boy who can run real fast. He's only good for deep routes. And he beat JC Jackson, who people are saying is the #1 cornerback in the NFL.
He's the coach's son.
I'm on team Darius Slay for best cornerback.
Yeah, Darius Slay looks like a baller.
I think Darius
the
Slay.
The Chargers are so dumb though. Whenever they had that pick six, they who was it? That wide receiver. What's that dude's name?
It was Everett, the tight end.
Yeah, he's literally calling
Tapping
to
the
come out of
helmet.
the game.
Tapping the
He's
helmet.
calling to get out of the game, and Staley's like, keep going. And then on the
Staley
route,
finds ways to lose games.
it was a half of a route.
Yeah.
Half of a route.
Well, it was
that ended
half
up
of
in
a
pick.
route, and also the route was bad. You got to blame Everett a little bit, but also you got to blame Herbert because he came to the huddle and was like, "Dude, I'm dying. I'm dead." Also, he's barely trotting out to the sideline, and Herbert. It's not like Herbert threw it too far. It's not like Everett ran a route
underneath.
that was too far. He threw it inside. So you got to blame Herbert as well.
But I'm just like, everyone slow down, take your time, get a legit play call.
It was first and goal on the 3-yard line. First and goal on the 3-yard line. And they were like, we got to hurry. We got to hurry. We got to hurry. And I felt good for Watson. Not Watson. Shoot. It's Jalen something. The cornerback. He got torched by Mike Williams 10,000 times. And then he finally got the pick six that wins the football game. So good for him.
Wasn't he like working at like
he was working at Wendy's.
Job.
He's working at Wendy's.
Wendy's 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's trying to find a job. I think while we're at this game as well, we got to talk about this is the first Amazon Prime game, and we got to talk about our experiences with Amazon Prime.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. My picture that was 4K football, which is awesome. I like Kirk Herbstreit.
Ooh.
I like Al Michaels.
Picture quality was amazing.
The picture was incredible.
Yeah.
I will say Kirk Herbstreit is good. My only complaint about Kirk Herbstreit is that you can tell that no, he's biased. He has tons of biases, and you can tell when he commentates who he likes. And that's the only thing I don't like about him. Like I will not say a good thing about Texas A&M if he ever commentates a game. No matter they could be up 56-0 and he would say something good about the other team instead. Or I mean, there's all sorts of other teams. If he ever commentates an Ohio State game, they could be down 56-0 and he'd be like, Ohio State is the best team in the country.
Well, that receiver, he's really a great player.
Yeah. But I thought they were good. I started watching the game on my computer in my den. Everything was great. When Sarah got home and we put the game on the big screen out in the living room, the picture was terrible and the sound was 5 seconds behind, and there was nothing I could do to fix it. There was I think it was just hit or miss because everyone's like, well, that means you have bad internet. No, I do not. My internet is impeccable. And so I think this Amazon couldn't handle it. And once you got a bad feed, you got a bad feed for the rest of the night. So
because I kept reading on Twitter, people were saying like this is a travesty, all this stuff. And I was like, I literally can pick individual fans out of the crowd and I can tell what they look like.
I knew that the Chiefs won the football game while there were 6 seconds still on the clock.
Did anyone tune in for the Dude Perfect?
No, God. I would rather blow my brains out, I think.
I did not, but what I think
condone that at the Football is King podcast, by the way.
I think this Thursday I'm gonna watch the all 22 cam instead.
Okay, what was that? I didn't even know that was a thing. I heard it on the Pat McAfee show.
It's like the all 22 cam is like the cam that the actual NFL teams get so that they can see the whole field and the whole play.
It has like players labeled and everything.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what that looks like, and also I might use it just as a backup feed as if the other camera is bad or the sound is delayed. So I'm interested to see that. I don't know who's playing Thursday night this week. I'm sure it's a terrible game.
No, it's the Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Oh, so it's a terrible game. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an awful game, but I'm gonna watch the all 22 cam instead because I do like being able to see the whole field. When I go to my my high school's football games, I love to sit at the top of the stadium so I can see the whole thing and judge them based off of how they're playing bad or good and all those things. So
I think I'm gonna tune into it too. I heard it was great.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. While we're on that, this week on Monday, my students. That's it. Oh, my microphone just changed.
Oh,
your internet's impeccable, huh?
No.
It's internet's impeccable.
It's not the internet.
Is impeccable.
It's not the internet. My microphone got unplugged. Can you still hear me?
Yep. There you go.
All right, sorry.
We lost you in the middle of it.
Okay, sorry.
Your students did what?
my students saw when I was displaying something on the board on my Google Drive, a folder that's labeled Football is King podcast. So any Vista Ridge students that are out here listening to this,
We're
hello.
going
Let's
big,
go.
baby.
hello, welcome to the podcast. Like and subscribe.
VR, baby, VR.
Yeah.
Did they ask you a bunch of questions?
No, I immediately just shut it down and we kept going.
When did they see this on Monday?
Yesterday, one of my students was like, "Did that just say Football is King podcast?" I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Just keep it moving. Here we go. So if anyone is tuning in, it's good to see you. Study your chemistry. Life will be good.
Periodic table hydrogen is number 1.
That is a fact.
That's all I know.
If you
Tell
make
Master,
certain
tell Master
chemicals,
J
you
we
get-
said what's up.
Yeah.
Oxygen is number 6. Is oxygen number 6?
8.
Ah, I knew it was up there.
It has 6 valence electrons. So, all right. Hey,
I knew it was something about
Education
6.
right there.
let's move on. Let's move on to the game.
Let's
of
invite
the
Paul
week.
Johnson to watch the Football is King podcast. He would
Oh,
enjoy
no,
this.
thank you. The game of the week, which was terrible until sometime in the third quarter when Mike Evans decided to punch someone in the face. The Bucks at the Saints. These offenses are absolute
Terrible.
garbage.
It turns out
But
potentially
defense
getting a
is pretty good.
divorce and being out for multiple weeks is potentially bad for your professional life.
I mean, did you see Tom Brady in the interview afterwards? Is he anorexic? Like his face
No, he got
is
My guy got plastic surgery.
dude, but
He
his
is
face,
plastic surgery.
his face is so thin. It looks terrible.
He
I
looks
thought
like a
the
different
exact same
person.
thing.
He looks
I-
like a
I
different
thought-
person.
I thought we were having a old what's his name? What's that crud? Now I'm losing my train of thought. That guy that calls college football that we were all putting prayers
Oh,
out
Todd
for.
McShay.
Tom
Yeah, I thought we
McShay.
were having a Todd
But
McShay.
McShay had the opposite where he was so inflated
Yeah.
because he was drinking
Yeah.
too much beer.
But
Yeah.
dude, I really was like, does Tom Brady have an eating disorder? Because his face
he-
was thin.
Nah, he went to the surgeon and they sliced him right here and they said, "Let me tuck that sucker in."
It's the
Pull it
cheeks
tight.
though. The cheeks were just like it was. He got dimples based off of his plastic surgery. And
He looks
they're
like an alien.
humongous.
He looks like an
This
alien.
isn't new though, guys. Like it's looked
No,
like
he's
this
had
for a
so much
couple
work
weeks.
done.
No, but I'm saying a couple weeks. Like last week, he looked the same.
Yeah,
Oh, agreed.
I didn't watch any of his press conferences last week, and I watched his
dude.
press conferences this week.
He looks
Whatever
freaky.
my dude has
He's
done,
Tom
he is
freaking
going,
Brady.
Benjamin Button on this shit, and he's going backwards.
That's
You
no,
know-
that's what Giselle said. Giselle said, "Hey, if you're gonna go back to playing football, I need you to, you're getting a little fat for the models. So like, I need you to like get it together." So she
Well,
made him
apparently-
get the surgery.
Apparently, he has Wednesdays off so that he can go pick up the kids from school because Giselle's pissed.
I mean, that's
He-
fair enough. I mean, he is also a parent, so it's like, it's fair enough that you pick your children up. From school.
Giselle is pissed.
All right, listen.
You know what?
Especially
You know
'cause
what
she
we learned
makes
about
more
that
money
game?
than he does.
Hire
I was gonna
someone to
say
pick up his
if he was
kids
the
every
breadwinner, it'd be
day
one
of the
thing.
year.
He's not.
He could hire
We
a new
did-
person every day of the year to go pick up his kids.
He should hire Antonio Brown to pick up his children. He
Yeah.
needs a job.
Or no, he should hire the guy. What was that guy like? Hustle Hard Danny Boy that picked up Antonio Brown after he left the stadium
Yeah.
when he
Oh,
ripped
yeah.
off
Oh
his
yeah.
jersey.
Oh yeah. That guy was great.
Danny Boy, I think his name is Danny Boy Hustle Hard. Shout
Yeah.
out.
He's
That's good.
dependable.
Picked up Antonio
He's a
Brown after the
dependable
game.
guy.
Hey.
He shows up.
Danny
Knows the
Boy
area.
Hustle Hard. If you would also like to sponsor the podcast, tweet us at FIK Podcast.
Because we gave you a
My
shout
guy's
out.
driving
Danny Boy Hustle
Uber. I
Hard.
don't think he got the money to. sponsor
Okay,
the
he's
podcast.
driving
I don't think he's an Uber driver. He knows
he's-
Antonio Brown. He's like
yeah.
friends with him.
He picks up
Oh,
a
I
lot of
thought he-
high-profile people.
Yeah.
We did learn one thing about the Saints defense in that game is in
Nope. Here we
Oh
go.
no.
my
Great. Great.
part of that defense.
Is that Mike Evans could put Lattimore on his ass real quick?
I mean, he can put Lattimore on his butt when he cheap shots him as Lattimore turns around.
Hey, that's fucking.
He's
Tom
back.
Brady,
He's back.
bro.
He's back.
There you go. All right, Shane. We didn't
Shane.
hear any of what you just said. Go again.
We didn't hear a
No,
word.
I just said Marshawn Lattimore is the heart of that defense. And Johnny, crud.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
Hasbulla could put you on your ass if you were put in that situation.
Oh, there we go. I will say, I am also on team. Lattimore's ejection was a bigger deal than Evans getting ejected. because
But that's why Mike Evans does it.
Yeah, no, it's
That's why
smart.
Mike Evans does it.
It's
But-
good football. Dude, it's smart. That's logical.
That's not good football. It had nothing to do with football.
It's definitely good football. Your quarterback, you have the best quarterback ever to play the game.
Oh, I agree. I don't
face
shame
to
you
face
for that.
with the defensive player. You
No,
go
no.
knock that
No, no,
defensive
Tom
player
Brady
on the
instigated
fucking
it.
They were
Tom
not
Brady
fa-
instigated
They
it.
were not face to face.
No,
Marshawn
Tom
Lattimore
Brady
said
called him a
2
fucking
words.
Bitch.
Marshawn Lattimore said 2 words. Tom Brady came over at a distance, and Leonard
Yes.
Fournette pushed him. And then Mike Evans is already full on
Hey.
sprinting after Lattimore just
It's
waves
smart.
at Tom Brady and says 2 words.
It's smart. It's
Tom
smart.
Brady is never face to face with
Why do
anyone.
certain athletes in every league have a job?
I mean, if you're
like
talking
there's-
specifically about hockey and goons, those don't
No,
Mike
exist
Evans
anymore.
is not an
just
enforcer.
goons, not just goons, but you have them in basketball, you have them in soccer. You have guys that will run their mouth to get under someone's skin. Lattimore should have known, hey, this isn't going to go well.
I
This
think
is
Mike.
a bad strategy for me.
I think Evans took it to a place it didn't need to go. I thought the
He-
trash talking.
They
The trash
haven't
talking
gone-
was great.
They've gone 4 years with suspensions after their games. 4 years. What do you mean? He knew damn well where that was going to go.
This is the first time Mike Evans has been suspended for an incident. He did
But
not
not
get suspended
Lattimore.
in 2017.
Not Lattimore.
I'm just saying, it was literally nothing. They were talking trash. Everything was fine. Mike Evans took it too far. The Leonard Fournette and I would love to see. Look at the Super Bowl. Look at the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Tom Brady.
You're in the game. You decide to turn around because Tom Brady called you a bitch. And now you're out the game. And now you just got your ass fucking handed to you.
That's not what happened. What happened is Tom Brady is screaming at the referee, and Lattimore just says it wasn't a penalty, and Tom Brady is yelling at him. Lattimore's doing nothing. Like Lattimore.
Tom instigated it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, sure, he instigated it, but why not? Why would you not instigate that?
I agree. Wait, hold up. I agree with
Why
the
would
fact that
you
if your
not?
quarterback gets in a confrontation, you have to do something. But it was not Lattimore's fault. It was Tom Brady's fault.
No, it's
And-
Lattimore's fault. If you're Lattimore and you know you're the heart and soul of that defense,
He didn't do
you know
anything.
this is going to escalate.
Lattimore
And
didn't do
Tom Brady
anything.
calls you a fucking bitch. Just say something back and walk away. Dude,
He did. He did.
What do
And
you
Leonard
mean? Lattimore didn't
Fournette
do
pushed
anything.
him.
Walk away. He walked straight at him. What do you
No,
mean?
he did not. No, he did not.
To the sideline.
They're literally
Tom Brady
walking
did it
away
all.
from each other.
They're walking away from each other.
Tom
Lattimore,
Brady
throws
says
his hand
you're
in
a
the air
fucking
and-
bitch.
Tom
No.
ran at him.
you're quoting the wrong things, the wrong person. But Lattimore walks past Tom Brady and
Correct.
tells him it wasn't a penalty and throws his hand like this, and he keeps walking. And then Lenny comes over and starts
No.
defending his
No.
quarterback. They do a little push and push, and then Mike Evans just obliterates Lattimore. And at the same
Hold
time,
up.
Tom
I got
Brady
YouTube
has just
on my
started.
TV. I promise you that's not how that went down.
That's exactly how it happened.
Lattimore walks past Tom Brady while Tom Brady's yelling at the
Yes,
refs.
it
He
is.
says, not a foul. Tom Brady says something else. Whether he called him a bitch or whatever, I think Tom Brady probably called him a fucking bitch.
Probably.
And then Lattimore turns around, physically turns his
Oh, but
body.
he's standing down the way.
But he doesn't walk. He doesn't walk towards him. He just turns around and responds to Tom
physically
Brady,
turns-
which is
Yeah,
fine.
but it is smart for Tom Brady to instigate Lattimore into that play.
Yeah, but
That's smart. Why would you not do it?
Lattimore does nothing in this altercation to get ejected from the game.
Dude, oh.
Lattimore should not have got ejected. Mike
Lattimore,
Evans should have got ejected.
The
Lattimore
second
and-
he turns around and doesn't walk away.
that's an ejection.
No, I'm not saying that's an ejection. I'm saying you're asking for an issue at that point.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
I'm
walk
okay.
away. Just walk the fuck away. Have
No.
someone that's not your best player come over and say something. Your
So
best
Jonathan-
player isn't the
Jonathan's-
one that needs to be fighting.
Jonathan's theory is that
Lattimore
if Tom
didn't-
Brady
wasn't
talks
trying to
smack,
fight.
you just have to like shelter as a turtle and then
No,
walk away and
no.
be scared.
I'm saying be smart enough to understand you're not winning an argument with Tom Brady siding with the referees against you. You're not going to win that.
If I'm
Hey,
Lattimore,
Lattimore
I'm-
wasn't
never
trying to
gonna
fight.
Look at you and say, we pick you over Tom Brady.
now
That's never gonna
Lattimore
fucking happen.
Lattimore does hit Leonard Fournette in the face. Like
Yeah.
once
he
once
pushes-
once once he gets pushed, Lattimore's ready to go. I will say
understand
that.
But the
But-
second Lattimore, like all Lattimore had to do was keep walking.
If anyone
Yeah.
was going to get ejected from the Saints, I don't know what his name is, but number 6 is who should have
He
got
throws
ejected.
a fist. I saw
Because once Evans destroys Lattimore, number
Yeah.
6 goes at Evans hard and destroys Evans.
that.
So
Which was
like,
actually surprising he didn't get suspended.
if
He didn't
any-
get
if
tossed.
anyone's gonna they're only gonna suspend the guy who starts the fracas.
The
and
instigators,
that was Mike Evans. Like, but if anyone was gonna get ejected from that game, it should be whoever number 6 is. I apologize. If you are number 6 for the New Orleans Saints and you're listening to the FIK
Drake,
podcast,
I think
I
it's May.
apologize.
It's Drake May.
Good for you, bud. Way to defend your teammates, but you also should have been ejected because you were
My
straight
whole
up
argument-
stomping on
Tom
people.
went after him. Leonard Fournette hit it, pushed him, and then he hit Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. No matter what,
And-
Tom Brady should have been flagged on that play.
And
And
nothing should have
10,000
happened.
other plays.
It should have stopped with Lattimore and Lenny Fournette pushing each other and jawing. That's where it should have ended. Mike Evans.
And it would have. It would have
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
if Mike Evans
Yeah.
doesn't blow him up.
Yeah.
We've seen it,
I
Jonathan.
not.
We've seen that happen 1,000 times where guys smack talk each other, they give each other
No,
a couple
I
push,
understand.
and the refs are there because the ref is
But-
right there, and then Mike Evans just comes in and just
No,
takes
and
it
Mike
to a whole
Evans
nother level.
levels him. Fucking levels him. But my whole argument is it's like this. Star
Can't wait for
players
this.
don't throw punches. Like your best player on the team is not
Lattimore
the one
never
that's gonna
throws a
get
punch.
thrown out for throwing a punch.
Did
He
you
never threw
ever
a
see the
punch.
malice at the palace? What do you
Oh,
mean?
wait,
Are you
bad
arguing?
example.
Are you
Bad example.
arguing
Bad
with-
example.
No, fuck no.
Lattimore.
None of those guys are star players. You're arguing.
Ron
against this
Artest?
team? Ron Artest? The dude changed his fucking name. dude.
Steven
Fuck
Jackson.
Yeah, Steven
Oh
Jackson.
my
Steven
was a star.
Jackson.
All right, hey, we're off
Star
topic.
players, my ass.
Lattimore doesn't throw a
Wallace?
punch. Lattimore doesn't throw a punch. He throws one push at Leonard Fournette, and then once he gets obliterated, he tackles. He joins the tackle on Mike Evans. He
You know-
never throws a punch.
You know what we also don't know is what was actually said.
We do know
Cares?
that.
Who
We do
cares?
know. We do know
I'm sure it
that
was a
Tom
lot of-
Brady
Shane,
Tom
I've
Brady
watched you
said
go
to the
after
ref
people for
multiple
saying like
times
nothing.
to F off.
Nothing.
Tom Brady
I've
said to
seen
the
you-
ref.
I've seen you go after people for saying nothing.
Tom Brady, we know for a fact, tells the ref multiple times F off in that game. And he specifically sprinted to a back judge, which I wanted to bring this up on the podcast. Let's get woke for a second. Obviously, Tom Brady, greatest of all time when it comes to the quarterbacks. So he
I
gets
don't
away
understand your
with a
argument.
lot. He gets lots of roughing the passer calls. But if Jameis Winston does the exact same thing in the exact same game, it's a 15-yard penalty. And it's not that Tom Brady does it once. Tom Brady did it in that game 5 times.
Tom
He
Brady jaws at
sprinted-
officials more than anyone.
So you
It's
have an
fine.
issue with the NFL, not Tom Brady, because
This
the
is
NFL
we have a
obviously tells them,
refereeing
"Hey, you don't
epidemic.
do that."
I have no problems with Tom Brady turning to white cap official who's right by him and saying, "I'm Tom Brady. I deserve special treatment." I have problems with Tom Brady sprinting across the field to a back judge
Back judge.
and
yeah.
screaming at him to F off multiple times in a game. That should be penalized because it's not fair.
No other quarterback could get away with that. None.
Patrick Mahomes can't even get away with that.
The world's
Nope.
not fair, Austin.
No,
But when you're the
it's-
greatest ever, you
it's-
can do
it's
a
ridiculous.
lot more than normal players.
If he does it once in a game, that's fine. He literally did it like 5 times in that football game. And it
I don't
needs
know
to
what
be
to tell you.
it needs
It
to be
ain't going to
penalized.
change. He's going to
Or-
do it all season. It will never change.
Or
This is the world we live in. The next GOAT will have the same privilege. And
There
you
cannot
won't
be a
bitch
next
about
GOAT.
it. You won't bitch about it when Patrick Mahomes gets the same privilege in 5 years.
That,
I will 100%.
that's not true.
I will take it during the game, and while we record the podcast, I will say it should have been a foul. Like easily. Patrick Mahomes should have thrown 4 picks this week. I will say that. easily. They didn't catch him. Patrick Mahomes beat Justin Herbert again. Boom. Patrick Mahomes learns how to win games. Justin Herbert finds ways to lose games. Boom. I will say all of these things. But like Tom Brady gets away with murder, and it's ridiculous. I understand
professional sports. Am I right? That's crazy, huh?
Also, there's only one GOAT. The phrase is greatest of all time. There cannot be more than one.
I understand, but when Patrick Mahomes is left alone to run the NFL,
He won't.
Tom
Josh
Brady is
Allen,
out in the
Joe
pasture
Burrow,
at 55
Justin
years
Herbert.
Too many good young quarterbacks.
There's too many good young
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Dude, it's the same. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, we've had
No, but Tom
good quarterbacks.
Brady's
Aaron
a
Rodgers
level
gets away
above.
with a lot.
Aaron
Tom
Rodgers,
Brady started 10 years before Aaron Rodgers.
also
I
Aaron
understand
Rodgers.
that, but
Aaron Rodgers is a
gets
better
away
quarterback
with
than
a
Tom
lot.
Brady. But Tom
I would agree
Brady,
with that.
Tom Brady wins more football games. No
Correct.
one in this era has a coach and a defense that is equivalent to the Bill Belichick / New England Patriots dynasty. No quarterback is winning 7 Super Bowls, or no quarterbacks out of this is going to win a bunch. Mahomes got his one. Good for him. Josh Allen will probably get one eventually. Lamar, I'm not so sold.
Nah.
Never.
Herbert, if Herbert leaves the Chargers, then he could win a Super Bowl. But
I'll put
Or
it
just
on
Staley,
right
or
now
just
that
Staley.
Baltimore never wins a fucking Super Bowl.
no. Don't put it
Well,
on
I wouldn't
Baltimore.
take that.
Because
Never.
Lamar Jackson might not
Lamar
be their quarterback.
Jackson as their quarterback. Lamar Jackson has 3 or 4 more years. Call it.
But like,
If Lamar ever goes to the Super Bowl, he will have the worst diarrhea of anyone on the history of the planet. Every Monday night football game, that dude is ill.
but
And he is
I mean,
literally crapping his pants.
there's too many good quarterbacks.
Too many-
There's too many good quarterbacks that they're gonna win that many
Yeah,
Super Bowls. They're
But
not
that's
gonna
not
win
my
7.
argument. My argument is the best quarterbacks in the league get away with a lot more than Jameis
That's
fucking
true.
Winston, who probably shouldn't even be a starter in the fucking league.
Hey, whoa.
Hey, 30
hey.
touchdowns. 30 touchdowns.
30
And 30
interceptions.
Patrick Mahomes is one of the least quarterbacks flagged for roughing the passer. I mean, obviously he's not being flagged.
Boom.
He gets
Yeah, I
he gets one of the
understand the
least. So I'm just saying, Patrick Mahomes should, in my opinion, be getting superstar treatment and does not.
Correct. But
And
I mean,
that's
Because-
it's well known.
because
It's
he's
well
a
known.
mobile-
Not a pocket.
He's
Yep,
a
he's not a
mobile
pocket
out of
passer.
He's
pocket
a mobile quarterback. Don't be a mobile quarterback.
That's
Mahomes,
There you go.
stupid.
I mean, if you're not being a mobile quarterback, you're limiting yourself.
Yeah.
If you can be
Why?
mobile,
The
because
greatest of all time is not a mobile quarterback. The guy can't run 5 feet without getting tired.
the greatest of all time has played 23 seasons in the NFL. 16 of those seasons, he has had a top 10 defense.
Okay, how's that help with the non-mobile part?
Because look at Patrick Mahomes. He's played 5 years in the NFL. He has had
It-
0 top 10 defenses. There's a difference.
I-
Tom
yeah,
Brady has
there's-
won
there's a
multiple Super
difference on
Bowls
the
scoring less
defensive
than
side of the ball, but
17 points.
that doesn't solve the fact of you don't have to run if you're a pocket quarterback. and
sorry.
just taking care.
I will rephrase it. Tom Brady has won multiple Super Bowls scoring less than 17 points. Patrick Mahomes has won less than 5 games scoring 17 points or fewer.
Then get a better defense or get a better defense. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're right. It's the quarterback's job to be the general manager and the head coach.
Tom Brady did pretty
that's his-
goddamn good 2 years ago at that. Guy shows up in Tampa and goes out and gets everybody he wants.
He got Gronk. Everyone else was already
They had an
there.
electric defense.
They had the best. They had the third
He
best
got like
offense.
3 offensive linemen. He got Antonio Brown, Gronk. Yes, absolutely. What are you
Nope.
talking about? Leonard
Nope.
Fournette, like literally went out and got his players.
He brought Gronk in. He brought AB in halfway through a season. AB had very little control. Their defense was already great, and their offense was already top 3 in the NFL. They would have won games if they didn't throw 30 picks the season before.
We weren't talking about
And
the fact
they were
that
8
Tom
and
Brady
9.
showed up and everyone wanted to come and play for Tampa.
Everyone.
We
They
weren't
brought
talking
in.
about that 2 years
They
ago.
brought in 3 players.
For our listeners that don't
3
know
out of
us,
22.
this is a typical conversation right here.
3 out of 22 is less than 14%.
Hey, I'm on my phone, or else I'd Google this, but there's no way. There's
There
no
is-
fucking way. Because I
there is a
almost
way.
can guarantee you they at least got 2 new offensive linemen.
I'm watching Dana White award contracts over here.
The Succaneers, as people would call them, won 8 games the season before. They were either 7-9. I think they were 7-9. Sorry, I think they went 7-9. Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns and 30
I understand
interceptions,
that. They were
and they
terrible.
would have went 12-5 if Jameis didn't throw 30 picks because their defense was stout, and their defense
is good. I'm not arguing the fact
Their
that
defense
is
stayed the
good.
same,
I'm not
and-
arguing that.
their offense brought in Gronk from the beginning of the year, Tom Brady, and then AB joined halfway through the season.
Oh my god!
And then the
agree
next
to
season left
disagree.
halfway through
Let's
the
just
season.
And
move
Tom,
on,
Bra- Tom,
because I
Tom
don't think
Brady
you're correct.
improved on Jameis Winston for sure.
Like
100%.
Leonard Fournette absolutely fucking showed up when Tom Brady showed up. Absolutely, and you just keep passing up that
Leonard,
We think
Fournette-
Leonard Fournette's a game changer?
Yeah, Leonard Fournette
one. Bro,
was like
playoff winning? What are you talking about, bro?
Ronald Jones was their best running back.
Ronald
that
Jones is
year.
their best running
Dude.
back.
Oh my god, it's called fucking depth. I know the
Okay,
Chiefs
but-
didn't have it, but like Tampa did.
Wait,
The-
we went from Leonard Fournette is the game changer to he's
Ronald
just
Jones-
I'm
Ronald
stating
Jones was
that
their game
multiple
changer.
players, not 2 players, not 3 players, but multiple players moved to Tampa when Tom Brady went to Tampa.
I
Multiple,
would
not
agree with
just
that.
2 or 3, multiple.
Maybe.
They
That's
literally
because
had
he's the GOAT.
a
I mean,
massive
they had-
influx in free
and
agency.
Dominican Sue. We're discounting Dominican Sue.
But I mean, he did start majority of their season. So, yeah.
What did they put in that Panda Express?
I
right.
woke up choosing violence today. Fuck it.
Hey, let's keep it going.
All right.
We haven't talked about the Cowboys yet. Let's talk about
All
them.
right, I give you my
It's
1
rush
minute
hour.
synopsis
Hey,
of the
put some
Cowboys.
respect on Tom Brady's name, man. The
Hold up.
I've
man's
I've
a goat.
put all. I've
Jonathan,
already said
shut
he's
up
the
about
greatest.
the Buccaneers. I don't care about the Buccaneers.
I
Let
already
me
said
give
he's
you
the
my
greatest
2
of all
minute
time.
synopsis of my Cowboys here.
Yes, let's go.
All right. My Cowboys, right? I'm going into the week saying these Cowboys suck. And then Cooper Rush runs out there, immediately scores a touchdown. I say, these Cowboys might be all right with Cooper
And then
Rush.
they sucked.
The Bengals suck. 6 sacks, whatever it was, they suck.
Debatable.
Then the end of the game, I say, these Cowboys might win this game. And then Mike McCarthy, out of nowhere, pulls the same trick that he always pulls. And I know we talked about this before. He says, we got 16 seconds left. Let's just go ahead and use our last timeout, not to kick a field goal, just to run another play. Can you imagine if it took more than 16 seconds to run a play and then get set to spike the ball?
I would
We
have
would have
loved
run
it.
out of time.
It would've
All
been
you
great.
had to do, Mike McCarthy, was get to the line on 1st and 10 and spike the ball. You still have 10 seconds to run a play where
And
you
a
can use your
timeout.
timeout. And
Yep.
this dumb idiot says, let me use the timeout with 16 seconds left. We will lose a game later in the season because this dude does not know how to manage the clock. He is an absolute buffoon. He needs to be fired tomorrow. I don't care who the head coach is. He is an absolute buffoon. He should be sitting in his retirement home, just enjoying life.
We
Dude is
lost
an
Jon-
absolute idiot.
Jonathan is now Googling
what
Tampa
game
Bay
did-
Buccaneers free agency signings from the year of Tom Brady. Guaranteed.
What was the game? Yep.
What was the
What was the game they lost last year on the QB
San
draw?
Francisco. It was San
That was
Francisco.
the playoff
Yeah.
game.
14
Yeah,
seconds.
Dude is
playoff
an
game.
absolute buffoon. There are legitimately, if there are 300, how many people are in America these days? Like 380 million people in America.
Something like that.
379 million, or whatever the number is.
379,999.
The population of America, minus one human being can manage the clock better than Mike McCarthy.
Ooh, I don't know.
That dude is an
Andy-
absolute idiot.
Andy Reid's up there too. Andy Reid does not love
Well,
clock
Andy Reid's pretty
management.
bad, but he is
He does
one
not
ahead
love
of
clock
Mike
management,
McCarthy.
but
To
I
call a
love
timeout in
Andy
that
Reid.
situation, unbelievable.
The good thing about Mike McCarthy, as stupid as he is, he's consistent.
Oh, he's consistently stupid. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, yes, he's
That's
But
true.
the thing is, he creates new ways to do dumb clock management. Literally, first take on Monday was probably like, has anyone ever seen somebody that stupid? And both of them probably agreed, no. for once.
Yeah, it's
He
tough.
is dumb.
I will say though, Dallas's defense is going to keep them in a lot of games.
Well, as long as the team decides just to let Micah Parsons run free, they might win a couple games.
I mean, Micah Parsons, he did have 2 sacks, which is pretty good, but like it was the whole defensive line. Trayvon Diggs looked good.
Trayvon Diggs looks good in coverage, which last year he didn't look great in coverage, or he just get burned.
He's not trying to pick everything. He's just going
Yeah,
for
exactly.
PBUs, and it's working great.
And he's quick enough to do it. He's quick enough to do it.
Chase looked, Chase made a couple of amazing catches on 3rd down.
Yeah,
that one catch that Diggs like kind of tips and Chase still catches it was nuts.
I will say the Bengals, like, they upgraded their offensive line. They spent a ton of money.
Did they though? Because they're
just
good.
Bad. That's what I'm saying. They spent a ton of money and they look terrible.
I still think the Bengals are going to be a team you don't want to play in the playoffs. I think the Bengals will make the playoffs.
I think they'll figure it out.
The Bengals probably will still win their division. It's been between them and the Ravens. Like the Browns.
But how long does
the
Joe
Browns
Burrow
still stand a
put up
chance?
with this?
So I have this on our podcast script for today. Is Joe Burrow the next Andrew Luck? Is he going to have to retire early from all the hits?
It's him or David Carr. I mean, golly,
he is. I think he's on track to be sacked 112 times this season.
Yeah,
or something ridiculous like that. Like, holy crap! And I will say,
13 times through 2 games.
I will say, I apologize. Bengals offensive line, you do suck. Some of it is terrible. Joe Burrow's fault. Some of it is Joe Burrow's fault, but a lot of it is not because you are bad.
Don't you think Joe Burrow has a little bit of like, he's almost got PTSD at this point where it's just like, he just assumes when he drops back, somebody's going to be in his face. And then when they're not, he's like, oh shoot, I can hang on to the ball. And he can't because they're a second behind.
I do think he has a little bit of Andrew Luck mentality that football is football. So it's a contact sport. And even when he like evades the pocket and then like runs the ball, he does not protect himself. Like he took a couple shots.
He needs to go practice the Cincinnati Reds and slide.
He took a couple shots because he slid too late. It's not that he doesn't slide. He does. And one of them, he drew a really terrible 15-yard penalty, in my opinion, because Brad Allen is a menace to the NFL. But he took a couple shots where he slides too late. And so he's still going to get hit. It might not be the biggest hit, but he's going to take contact, and they need to start bubble wrapping that guy.
I think truthfully, this game meant nothing to either team. Like the Cowboys are not great. They got kind of like not lucky, but kind of lucky.
They got lucky.
Cooper Rush's first game. He played well at the beginning, and they just were like, let's just hang on to it.
Once I was watching it with my sister. My sister, like at the beginning, I was like, Cooper Rush looked great. I was like, all right, these are all of the scripted plays that they practiced 1,000 times.
They had 15 good plays.
And the second that the script ended, Cooper Rush looked not so great anymore. But it was like, hey, he did great on the final drive. He did great. I mean, the big pass to Noah Brown got tipped and still got to him. So, a little bit of luck, but he did his job. He got the win. He's 2-0 as a starter. Can't have a better record than that.
I think it's more of an indictment on the Cincinnati Bengals are not good right now.
Yeah, they're not good right now, but they will be good.
I had to look this up, and this goes to your Andrew Luck thing. Joe Burrow, since last year, been sacked 64 times as of this past game.
I mean,
that's
rough.
Ridiculous. It's 13 rough. Times in 2 games.
The next closest
30 times in the last 4. Go ahead,
probably. Well, the next closest is Tannehill at 50. That's terrible.
I mean, it's not great.
And I think Joe Burrow is like everyone loves watching Joe Burrow. You cannot hate Joe Burrow. And it's like this dude's career is going to be 4 years because he is going to get murdered for the next 3.
Also, I mean, Zach Taylor is already a doofus, and the Bengals, I love that they extended Zach Taylor's contract because that's going to screw them up somewhere in the future.
He's a good old ag.
The Bengals got lucky on their Super Bowl run. They rode their defense. Burrow did not play great in the playoffs last year. I will ride that fact for sure. Burrow was led by some great defenses in second half of games and Jamar Chase being a freak of nature. Zach Taylor is an analytics doofus. And like he will lose them some football games because he's not really the best head coach. Like he loves to call plays, but he doesn't like to be a head coach. And
I'm still anti like head coach should not be calling plays.
Head coach should not be calling plays unless it's Andy
No,
Reid.
you
I
shouldn't.
love Andy Reid calling plays.
I was watching somebody the other, or it must have been Monday Night Football, and the head coach is like pacing his. Actually, at the game on Saturday when I was there, watching the defense on the field and Jimbo is sitting underneath the tent with the offense makes me so irrationally mad.
The head coach should cover everything. I agree that for the most part, the head coach should not call any plays on offense or defense. He should okay the play. Like
Agreed.
he should be able to give his approval. My two
Or throughout the
exceptions-
week. Throughout
Yeah.
the week, the coach needs to be involved with the OC, being like, hey, this is what we expect.
Yeah. My two exceptions are Bill Belichick calling defense and Andy Reid calling offense.
Well, if you win 6 Super Bowls, then you've earned the right to do whatever the heck you want.
Hey, Andy Reid's only won one, but Andy Reid is just a brilliant play caller.
Yeah. Would
And
anyone else?
I will also say Tomlin. Tomlin's my third.
Yeah.
Tomlin can do whatever he wants. Tomlin might be
is-
the greatest NFL coach ever.
Tomlin is amazing. He's incredible.
Joe Burrow, and maybe I was just had the old Colorado Kool-Aid was flowing, but he looked pissed. He looked ticked off during that.
Well, he's
game.
got to be thinking about his future. Like he's getting screwed. He's getting killed every time he drops back.
That is true.
The only difference between Andrew Luck and Joe Burrow is, well, never mind.
Joe Burrow's better at
I don't know
football.
nothing about Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's better at football than Andrew Luck was.
Well, I was gonna say Andrew Luck's just uber smart. So
Yeah, that's true. All right. We'll wrap it up on our teams and we'll lightning round around the league and we'll wrap it up. Shane, the Saints play the Panthers. Do they win?
yeah, I think they probably win by 14 points.
I
Oh,
think,
whoa.
I don't think either of these teams will score 14 points. So that'll be but
Oh,
This might be
Jameis Winston's
3-2.
gonna have his coming out part. It's in Carolina, isn't it?
it's in Carolina.
Okay, 10
Divisional
points. Jamie Winston's gonna have his coming out party.
Jamie Winston.
I don't think Baker Mayfield is gonna have
Baker's
I mean it's rough. All right.
Matt Rule's dead.
Jonathan, the Raiders bounce back game against the terrible Tennessee Titans. Do they win?
Yeah, we win that one.
All 4 of our teams are away, by the way. Sorry. So that's at Tennessee. But I still also think if you can stop Derrick Henry, it's proven that the Titans without AJ Brown, their offense is anemic and it's bad. If you can stop Derrick Henry, they don't
terrible.
they don't have a receiver.
Not yet.
No.
Not
Did
yet.
Tannehill get benched or did he
Not
get
yet.
hurt? They
No,
played
neither. Oh, that was because they were losing 41-7.
Yeah, he got they pulled the starters.
Pull him out.
They pulled the starters.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I don't
you
think-
stuck around longer than I did. I turned that game off. I said,
Oh, I was watching it too, and I said, "What in the world? Who is that out there?"
Well,
All right.
here's why I don't like the pulling the starters thing just because you're getting your ass kicked. It looks bad.
I mean, yeah, it's not a great look, but it's also best to
You're
protect.
down
like,
41-7.
yeah.
That's not a good look, regardless.
It's best to
It
protect
looks
your.
bad though, pulling your starters.
Blake, the Cowboys are at the undefeated G-men.
Yeah,
On
I think
Monday
the
night.
Giants, I think the Giants have kind of caught lightning in a bottle a bit, but I don't know. The Cowboys have as good a shot as the Giants do.
I think that's gonna once again the primetime games are just gonna be so awful.
Awful. Why
I
is it always
don't
like
understand. I don't understand. I understand Thursday night. I understand Thursday night.
that? Thursday, I'm down for like Jags, like whoever.
I mean, or Colt or Brown Steelers, which is what we have this week. It's
Whatever.
gonna be terrible. But
Monday night
Monday
gives
and
you the
Sunday
worst
night have
games.
got to be good games. Golly,
Monday night gives you the worst freaking games.
for sure.
Last night, both games were terrible.
Yes,
I
they were
thought the
both bad.
point of the-
It would have been good if Kirk Cousins didn't implode. I think the Eagles Vikings game would have been good if Kirk Cousins was.
I agree. That on paper was
Primetime
actually a
Kirk.
decent game.
And I mean, the Vikings were moving the ball, and then he would throw a pick in the end zone. So it's just like it could have been
Yeah,
close.
I had them at 7.5, I think, and I was like, oh, they're gonna cover.
Nope. All right.
I thought they were gonna flex Monday Night Football this year.
Next year, I think they start doing that.
We'll see. The Chiefs play the Colts. The Colts lost 24-0 against the
They're
Jaguars.
terrible. This is
If
Frank Reich's hot seat game right here.
If the Chiefs don't win, I'm gonna be so pissed. But also, I think the Chiefs will not cover the spread because the Colts are designed to keep it close. But if the Chiefs don't
Unless
win,
they're playing in Jacksonville.
I'll be ticked. And also, the Colts are playing at home, and Matt Ryan looks good in a dome. All right, here we go. Let's lightning round around the league because the league was exciting, and we didn't talk about many of the exciting games. Let's talk about the Browns and the Jets. Nick Chubb has a guaranteed win. Guaranteed. If he just doesn't
go down.
score a touchdown.
Don't go in the end zone.
And he doesn't. And he scores. And everything after that is the Browns being terrible. How do you let Corey Davis get behind you and just be wide
The
open?
onside kick.
And then score the onside kick. We'll talk about I want to talk about the onside kicks in depth because there was a lot of onside kicks.
Gig 'em.
A lot of onside kicks this weekend, and I noticed some trends. We'll talk about that in a second.
That's the second time Nick Chubb's done that.
Yeah,
isn't it?
he's done
he did
that
it last
twice.
year.
Yeah, he loves his touchdowns. He loves his fantasy football owners. But you just gotta go. You gotta go down.
Just go
Kevin
down,
Stefanski
dude.
is maybe a bad coach. Joe Flacco is
Maybe.
Joe Flacco. I mean, the man is amazing. He won a Super Bowl.
Flacco.
Hall of Famer for sure. I think everything about that. I think all of it is either A, Brownie the elf is a curse.
The curse.
Or this is God cursing the Browns for Deshaun Watson. It's either or. You pick.
Well,
you
wait.
pick.
Did you see that there was a tailgate that had a mannequin?
Oh
with an
gosh,
obvious-
it was bad. It was bad.
With
It
an obvious
was
boner, and
bad.
it said "Happy endings are not illegal."
The Browns
That
fans
was the curse.
The
That
Browns
was the
fans are
curse.
fully leaning into that they should have Deshaun Watson playing right now.
Oh,
and
yeah, that was the
Deshaun Watson's
curse.
not a scumbag. So I will agree. That's the curse of the Browns.
You don't blow a game up 13. Didn't they miss it? Did they miss an extra point?
Yes, they did. So they scored with like a minute 53 or something like that.
Missed the extra
They
point
missed the extra point.
to go up
which-
13.
They go up 13. They
Flacco throws
one
like a
play
60-yard. Yeah,
I think it was a
And then
one
they
play
get- they-
drive by the Jets.
they missed the
and then
onside kick.
The onside kick. Amari Cooper is just sitting there watching it. It's just rolling right to him, and he's like, "I'm just gonna wait." And then the Jets get it, and then
That many things do not go wrong for a team that's not cursed.
yeah. And I will appreciate Garrett Wilson going to the Browns fans and being like, "Hey, y'all suck. We're the
Also,
Jets,
he was on my
and
bench.
we're better than
He was on my fantasy bench, and he scored 30.
you." Gotta stop playing fantasy football, guys. It'll break your heart.
Well, I still had
Um,
Stephon Diggs, so it was all good. But
I've only lost one out of 7 leagues, one game out of 7 leagues. So I'm doing pretty well.
You just wait. All right. The other big upset was whatever. It should have been a close game, but it wasn't. And then the Ravens blew a humongous lead against the Dolphins because the Ravens defensive coordinator, I don't know what his name is. He's been running the same defense for forever against Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill continues to dominate him. He's just on a new team now.
I think he literally said, "Do not guard Tyreek Hill and just see
Yeah.
what happens." And he got what was coming to him.
Yep.
Also, Tua, people hate on Tua. Tua did look legit. That touchdown throw was legit.
Tua looked legit in the second half. Tua looked
Agreed,
like trash in
agreed.
the first half. Also,
Agreed.
which touchdown pass are you talking about? Because there was Tyreek had to stop to catch the ball was one of them.
No.
He literally
The
he had to come to
They're
a complete
short.
stop. There was one where he's open by 20 yards and it's only a 30-yard pass,
It was
and
the
Tyreek runs
one
it
to
in.
win the game. It was the one to
Oh,
win the
the wa-
game.
the
That was
Waddle-
actually a
the
decent
Waddle
pass.
throw. Waddle throws a good catch
Legit pass.
and a good throw. I'll give you that.
Also, I saw a video. So Tua looks so awkward when he throws the ball. I saw a video of somebody that had reversed it, so he looked like he's throwing right-handed. Looks the same as every other guy. Looks like a pretty good throw.
Hey, while we're here, I posted a trivia question for the pod today. Which two quarterbacks currently lead the league in passing yards?
Oh, it's Carson Wentz, and I just saw it today. Joe Flacco was third, Carson Wentz was second, and
Tua's first because Tua threw for
Tua's
500
first.
yards, basically. Yeah, it's Tua, Carson Wentz, and Joe Flacco. Who would have guessed that Joe Flacco? I think he's thrown for back-to-back 300-yard games.
Yeah, he's over 600 yards, isn't he?
Yeah, MVP Joe Flacco.
I was just as shocked by that. I was literally like, I mean,
Yeah.
Carson, I can see because he'll throw the 700 yards, but he also throw like 8 interceptions with that.
Yeah, and they're always
Tua,
down
I
by
could
multiple
see.
scores. So
Yeah, that's true too.
my other thing from the Ravens game is the Ravens actually made it to Hail Mary territory after they went down by 4. Did Lamar Jackson throw the worst Hail Mary throw of all time?
I didn't even see it.
It made it to the the 5-yard line at people's feet.
So you're telling me a running back couldn't make a big time throw? That makes sense.
I think he only had to throw it about 65 yards, and he threw it only 60. And he scrambled around and gave everyone time to get to the end zone, and then he threw it short of the end zone. And his wide receiver was trying to buy a pass interference call, which you're never going to get on a Hail Mary.
Never on a Hail Mary.
Never.
Hey,
Unless
if you're
even the year that I forget what game it was, but it was atrocious where like they wrapped Tyreek Hill up and like he was trying to catch it through the defender's back and they still didn't call it. And it was the year where pass interference was reviewable and they still didn't call it. So
you're just never going to get it.
You're never going to get it.
If you're the Dolphins, you can't lose when your coach looks as cool as that guy.
Okay,
I mean,
Mike McDaniel is a badass. I don't care what anyone says.
I
That dude, he literally said in the press conference, he said, yeah, I told the team I'd like to see him play from behind, and they took me a little too literal.
Yeah.
That dude is awesome.
Mike McDaniel got 7 swirlies a day in middle
That
school.
dude is awesome. That dude is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. If you watch his press conference, you're literally like, this dude is awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
He's awesome.
Ooh, my
I love
other
him.
trivia question. Sorry, other trivia question for the pod as we wrap things up here today. How many completions does Justin Field have this season?
He had 9. He was 9 for 11.
I think he
What,
has
this
21.
No, I think he has 16.
He has 15. He has
No.
15.
Oh, I was gonna say 15.
He was 7 for 11 with a pick this week, and he completed
7 for
8
11.
passes last week. So
Jeez.
that's
That's
I think Tua completed more passes in the
Well,
fourth quarter than
Did
Justin
Judge
Fields
just
has in
hit
2
it?
games. Oh, did he get to 60?
I see people fighting for the ball.
No, he hasn't broken the record yet for the AL. I think he has to get to 62 to break the record for AL.
62.
There's no way.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, that was just one on the night.
Yeah, that's aside. That's pretty much it. The surprise teams from this week where the Giants are still winning football games, but
One shy of tying the records.
it'll end soon. The Jaguars game. We talked about kind of everything. Monday Night Football was terrible. We covered
As
everything.
usual.
Let's wrap it up for the evening / whenever you're watching this. Podcast comes out Wednesday morning. If you're still listening at this point in time, about an hour and a half into the pod.
You should be.
We got 3 new picks for everyone, and they're all going to be winners this week.
We going 3-0, 9-0, boys, 12-0.
Everyone's going 3-0. So here we go for this week.
Fade Shane.
If it's after last week, maybe shade all of us. But here we go. Blake, lead us
All
through
right.
your 3 picks.
We got UNC -1.5 versus the Notre Dames. Marcus Freeman's a bad coach. Notre Dame can't score. They're on a backup quarterback. UNC will probably score 60 on everyone they play this year. They just will also give up 60, but they'll win by 1.5.
It'll be 60
Detroit,
to 58.
yes. Detroit +5.5 versus Minnesota. Dan Campbell will not allow his team to lose by more than 3, so they'll at least keep it within 3. Atlanta +1.5 versus Seattle. Atlanta is the team that everyone thought was going to be terrible. That's actually just not that bad. Seattle is that bad. They'll win. They'll at least lose by 1.
Atlanta's
Could be-
going to win.
could be
Atlanta's
8 to
going to
7.
win 5 games, but they're going to cover the spread on 12 of their 17 games.
This game could be 8 to 7, but they're going to lose by at least 1 or
Yep.
by less than 1.
Yep. All right. Also, we have to pick these games against the spread because that's what we do. But I'm if the spread is ever -1.5 or +1.5, you get better odds by just taking the money line.
Oh, I would if I
what you should
could, I would take
But
Atlanta money line.
That is not what we do here at the Football is King podcast. We bet the spread because that's what we do. All right, Shane, you're currently 1-5 on the season. This is your bounce back week. You're either hot
This is
or
it.
you're due. What do we got?
I've got just to irk Austin. I got the Chiefs -7 against the old Colts because I bet them twice in a week to win, and terrible. I've got the Steelers +5 against the Browns. Let's get a little rooting interest in Thursday night football.
Oh yeah.
And then the lock of the week. The lock of the week is Coastal Carolina -3 against Georgia State. That is a
My guy
guarantee.
is digging deep.
We would just like to
I
we would like to
need-
say
I
there's
need
no
some
such thing
victory.
as a lock in gambling. Gamble responsibly.
No, there's not, but I am digging deep. I need to find a couple victories, and that's the best one I could find.
All right, let's move it on. Our current big winner of our gambling podcast, who's going to stick to all college ball this week. Jonathan, what do we have?
I stick to college ball almost every week. Just easier bets. All right, I'm taking Kansas Jayhawks over the Duke Blue Devils at
Loser.
-7.5. Watch out for Kansas, and I'll call that my lock. I'm telling you right now, it's happening. TCU Horned Frogs -2.5 to SMU. So that's going to happen. And then I'm going to take the Fighting Texas Aggies at -2 again.
That's your lock. That is your lock of the week.
They're all three happening. I'm just going to run away with this week.
I mean, we already covered this. We are once again, Jonathan and I, this will be a theme of the podcast, are going to be fighting each other on all sorts of things.
By the way, I did Google. I just didn't want to bring up all the facts that
the Aggies are not going to cover because Arkansas is going to cover 2.5 against the Ags.
Sorry, negative Nancy.
It did start at like 4.5, I think.
Yeah. I'm on, and then that's my one college game this week. I think the Niners will cover their +1.5. Once again, if you're listening to this, just take a money line. You'll get better odds. And I said it from the beginning of the year. I think the Eagles are a good team. I don't like that they're at -3.5, but I think that they're going to cover that and they might blow out a bunch of teams. So I'm taking the Eagles -3.5 this week. So hopefully our gambling will turn around and everything will be good. Hopefully everyone's games go great this week, and we will see you all next week.
Gig 'em.